Big snub for Sussex. Meghan and Harry go crazy. William and Kate move in with the Queen. The ever-reliable royals are getting ready for the next chapter. For 10 years, Amner Hall on the Sandringham estate has been a happy country bolt hole for the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. But now, as their children grow up and their jobs as full-time royals become more demanding, the couple are considering upping sticks from the country estate and exchanging it for Windsor Castle, which is just a 40-minute commute from London. In recent weeks, reports out of the UK suggest that Kate and William are in talks with the Queen to take up residence at an apartment within Windsor Castle. And sources tell Women's Day Her Majesty is delighted that they're keen to move to the historic Berkshire Pile. The Queen has an all-time in the world for William, Catherine, and their children, says a source. She splits her time between Buckingham Palace and Windsor Castle, and she thinks it's perfect they'll be just down the hall. It's a spiritual homecoming for William, who would walk from his boarding house at Eton to spend weeks with the Queen in Windsor, and Kate, who grew up nearby in Bucklebury, and whose parents and brother James still own properties in the area. Kate and Wills are also keeping an eye out for private residences within the area, says a source. They'd be close to Eton for George, so he doesn't have to board if they decide to send him there, and a short drive from Kate's family. This comes as palace insiders say the Cambridges are intending to commit to more public engagements in London and beyond. As soon as Prince Harry and Meghan Markle left the family, Kate and William knew they'd have to shoulder more responsibility, says a source. The pandemic slowed that plan down and afforded them more precious time at home with the kids, but they need to get back out there now. One person who's feeling unsettled about the Cambridges' request to put down roots at Windsor is William's dad, Prince Charles, whose grip on being next in line to the throne is loosening thanks to a laundry list of scandals. In recent weeks, talk among courtiers has quietly turned to whether it would be prudent to have controversy-free William leapfrog his father to the throne. Charles is having a nightmare couple of years just as his ascension is increasingly imminent, complains a source. His own son, Prince Harry, has defected. His brother, Prince Andrew, has raised concerns for the whole family, having to defend the sexual assault civil case. And worst of all, his closest former staff member, Michael Fawcett, is being investigated. It's a nightmare. The Palace Insider says the loss of trusted aide Michael, who stepped down from his role as charity boss, while an investigation takes place into the claims he offered to help secure honor and British citizenship for wealthy donors, and was an earthquake to the future king. On the other hand, Harry and Meghan are losing the public trust. The Duke and Duchess of Hypocrisy graced the cover of Time's 100 Most Influential People issue on Harry's 37th birthday. But the backlash ensured there wasn't much to celebrate. It's a release that was met with howls of derision online, with many commenting on how photoshopped the cover image was. The airbrush was doing some heavy lifting here, said one person, while another took aim at the prince's hair, saying, "Is Harry wearing a rug or just overdone on the airbrushing?" Others were unimpressed that Harry seemed to be positioned too far behind his wife. British author Melanie Blake tweeted, "The posing of this is very odd. And why is he almost hidden? They should be side by side, which shows equal and unity. Behind her makes it look like she's in charge, which is not the message they're wanting." Meanwhile, commentators, including the late Princess Diana's voice coach, Stuart Pearce, who claims William was groomed to become the sovereign since age 11, say that William may feel duty-bound to step up and wear the crown ahead of his dad. Charles is now dealing with William literally moving in with the Queen, says a source. He knows it's nothing personal, but both the Queen and William have always put the monarchy before all else. But even Charles has to admit his leverage within the family is slipping. Harry and Meghan did not get what they wanted. Harry felt they should get money and security, and Dad said nope. Dad says time to grow up. Before the wedding, we gave you options. Graham said, hey, work in Africa. You love it there. And Meghan can go along on acting. Harry admitted before the marriage they let him know the worries and maybe problems ahead like money, funding, another working royal and security, and not knowing the ropes. Maybe take some time and learn tabloids, protocols. Also reminded Harry no titles for his children and why. And then even Harry told Meghan that Dad might slim down even more and no titles later either. They didn't get paid but promoted from Netflix a few times. The lies spewed forth from both their mouths so that the world would sympathize with them. They are sympathy hounds. Basically, they were trying to justify why they crapped all over the British royal family and the British public, who welcomed that harridan into our midst with open arms. Wealth was lavished on them. Harry has never had to work for a living, but that's not enough because he's a resentful, ignorant pillock. He also saw this as an opportunity to yet again complain about being a prince, without one word of gratitude for the lifestyle being handed to him on a silver platter. To blame his father for his mother's death, had Mummy and Daddy not divorced, she would be alive today. Total bollocks, of course, but he refuses to move on from the 12-year-old boy who lost his mum in a car accident. An accident which she may well have survived had she worn her seatbelt, had she taken up the offer of official security. But he is incapable of being objective. I wonder what the real payoff is for hanging on to this nonsense, other than so far that he's made money out of whining, exploiting a mother that he claims he adored. Disgusting. Diana would be appalled by the whole thing and would not appreciate some American trying to mimic her in an interview, which she so much regretted doing. She would be devastated that Harry is not there supporting his brother, who's had huge responsibility on his shoulders. Not satisfied with that, the charlatans continued feeding their nonsense to that woman, King, who told the world. Meghan whining that nobody in the British royal family had contracted her. Why the hell should they? She told lies. She played different cards, and glad that someone clarified that the wedding 3 days before the £30 million one. He completed the marriage paperwork and said there was no service 3 days earlier. Meghan wanted revenge for not getting the title for her son. No title means he isn't a British prince, and she won't ever be a mom to a prince at all. She was also bitter for having to pay for her luxury life now after being a spoiled brat. If both Prince Charles and William are trapped, if Meghan was suicidal marrying a prince, why would you want to have a title for your son? So the media can follow him everywhere and his future wife to be suicidal as well? Greed. It's pure and simple greed. Now that Grandma has cut Harry off from any more royal family money, he and his little brat of a wife are desperate for free cash. I read that some of Harry's fan clubs started a GoFundMe account for him and his wife, and it collected a whopping $150 in the first 2 days. I wouldn't be surprised to see Harry and that little woman living in a tent somewhere in Beverly Hills, panhandling on Rodeo Drive, trying to save the multi-million-dollar mansion they are bound to get kicked out of. Both of them are a disgrace to the royal family, and I don't feel sorry for them at all. I personally think they both lied their ass off on Oprah, trying to get people to feel sorry for them in order to get free money, just like Grandma used to give them. I hope that Harry learns a valuable lesson and leaves this woman before he loses all of his royalness and is disowned by his family completely.